am Fletcher Brown with another artist video blog, kicks96country.com. I do so love these visits I get from Nashville country artists. I get to meet all kinds of amazing people with amazing stories. And the man sitting next to me is another one of those amazing folks. His name is Mike Thomas. Mike, welcome to Kicks Country.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You're a Knoxville native.
I am. Grew up in Knoxville.
All right. So I wanted to say I'm sorry.
It was a tough weekend.
I'm sorry. I was in Washington, D.C., and we were all, believe it or not, we were all sitting there watching the Tennessee-Georgia game.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I want Tennessee to win this game. And unfortunately, they just at the very last moment, in overtime too.
It was a great game.
But it was so close and it was so hard fought.
It was. My band actually had a gig that night, so we didn't get to see all of the second half, which might have been good because my blood pressure might have gotten too high. But we did see the very end of the missed field goal. That one stung.
That one.
But you got two really good teams, slugging it out.
Yeah.
So that's SEC
it was
football.
A great night of SEC football.
It was absolutely.
Mike Thomas, you are again originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. Not long ago, you had a viral hit with a song called "Hell in High Water." We're going to get to the current single in a minute, but I want to talk about this because you wrote this song about Hurricane Helene that came through and just did so much damage all through like North Carolina and that part of the country. And that song, you went viral with that song, but as I understand it, it really wasn't something that you expected to happen.
Not at all.
No, you didn't even have a TikTok account.
Not at all. Yeah. It was just one of those things. So, I grew up in East Tennessee, just outside of Knoxville. My whole family is from East Tennessee and still there. And we've got family all throughout East Tennessee. I got good friends there still. And so when Helene happened, it really affected me. Like natural disasters are always awful. Mm-hmm. But because that one hit so close to home and I knew people that were affected, I just couldn't shake it. And it just kept eating at me, and I kept reading stories, and I kept talking to people in the area. One guy I knew that lost it all and had to be rescued by a helicopter, and so it was heavy. And one morning I was actually standing in line in Nashville to renew my driver's license. And I'm waiting in line, and I'm reading a story on my phone, and it's a story of this older couple whose home and horses and barn and everything got swept away. And the idea, hell in high water, just hit me. And I pulled my phone out, and I just started making notes as fast as I could. And then when I got back to the house, I wrote the song. And my process is typically just to sit on them for a couple of days and then go back to them and see if there's anything I want to revise. I did a little bit of revising, and then I called my producer, my band, and I said, I just want to record this, and let's just put it out. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to hire a publicist. We're not going to pitch it. Let's just get it out because the message is timely, and maybe it'll resonate with some folks. And that's exactly what we did. We just recorded it. I called my distributor. I said, hey, if I send you this song, how quick can we get it out? He said, well, like maybe 3 days. And I said, let's do it. So we put it out, and I had no expectations that it would be a thing. And a couple days later, my daughter, who had just started a TikTok account, throws it up on her page with me, a picture of me and her, and she says, hey, this is my dad. Here's his new song. It's for the victims of Hurricane Helene. Check it out. And next thing I know,
4 million, something like 4 million, wasn't it?
That weekend. Yeah.
Gosh.
I actually looked just last week. It's up now to 65 million views on TikTok and some ridiculous 500,000 saves and shares. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. And
I had no control of it. All I did was just put a song out, and that just goes to show you, man, you never know.
Absolutely.
You can follow all the steps you're supposed to follow, but you just don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. And with an event like that resonated with so many people across the country.
Absolutely.
It was the right song, the right words at the right time. And, bless your daughter for putting it up there.
Yeah, no kidding. I owe her, don't I, man? So then I subsequently...
You're getting a great Christmas present. That's all I'm saying.
So, of course, I had to set up a TikTok account. But I'm not good at it, So my daughter's like, Dad, run everything by me before you post. I got to get it her approval. So, but it's been fun. It's been fun to see what it's done.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that moment happened for you. I really am. The interesting thing, Mike, you've been in Nashville for just over 20 years now. Mm-hmm. You're a family man, obviously, wife and kids, business owner. but music has always been on your priority list, right? So you came to Nashville over 20 years ago, and you knocked around a little bit, and the Nashville scene wasn't really, you weren't really vibing with it, or it wasn't vibing with you, and so you took a step back. Like you said with your songs, you take a step back, and you come back to it. And you apparently taken the same approach with music. And in that time, you've put out 2 new albums, and you've got a brand new single that's just hit country radio.
That's right, man. You've done your research.
Well, I mean, I like to know. I like to know who I'm talking to. I like to know who I'm talking to. And you got a brand new single, A Different Story.
That's right.
All right. And your musical style, I heard the song, and I was like, wow. I mean, I'm an Americana fan. I do. I like, you've been compared to like John Mellencamp. I love John Mellencamp.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and
grew
I
up
mean,
on that stuff.
that's got to be, amazing to read. That was the Boot that said that, I think, about
I think
you.
it was the Boot said that.
Yeah, and it was like, you had to read that and go, wow.
Yeah, those are, Mellencamp, Rodney Crowell.
Yeah.
Those are names that, if you get mentioned in that hemisphere, you're doing something right. Yeah. I don't know that I deserve those comparisons, but it's certainly flattering.
Well, clearly you have a voice, and you're true to that voice, and that voice is reminiscent for people who are fans of artists like Rodney Crowell, John Mellencamp. It resonates with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you saying that. I try to tell stories. I try to paint pictures. That's what I'm trying to do every time I sit down and write a song. Is I want to paint some word pictures. I want to create a compelling story. I want to move somebody.
Well, that's what country music is supposed to do.
Absolutely.
That's what music, and especially country music, is supposed to do. So let's talk a little bit about where you started. I mean, you say you grew up just outside of Knoxville. What was your youth like?
So growing up, I was a sports kid. I was into baseball and football and anything with a ball that I could play. But I also started music real early in life. My sister and I, she was a little bit older than me, we both took piano lessons. And I think it was one of those things that my sister was taking it, so I went along too. I didn't really enjoy it. I'd rather been climbing a tree or playing ball. But it set a foundation for me in music. My grandfather was a guitar picker and a part-time songwriter. And he bought me my first guitar when I was like 8. And I had no interest in it, really. It laid under my bed for years. And then when I was a teenager, I had an injury that ended my athletic career. I actually broke a hip in my teenage.
As a teenager?
As a young teenager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that ended football, and I basically just stopped all sports at that time. And it was a tough time for me because as a kid, that was what my whole identity was tied up in sports and athletics. But then I found music during that time. So I pulled that guitar out from under the bed, taught myself to play. I started diving into my dad's old records, Dylan and Neil Young and Otis Redding and James Taylor and Gordon Lightfoot. And, then that progressed to Mellencamp.
I like your dad's taste in music. Can I just say that? I love you. I want to, like, your dad and I can hang out.
Oh, yeah, you guys, you would
absolutely.
Click. But, yeah, so that was my intro to music, and I just consumed as much music as I could and started trying to write songs when I was, 17 or 18 years old. And so music pulled me out of a real dark spot in my life. And I've always felt a sense of duty to music, even when I wasn't doing it much. I just always felt a pull because it was there for me when I was lost, and so it's powerful and enjoyable to get back into it, later in life, kind of on my own terms, which has been awesome.
Well, I'm glad again that you've had the success you've had so far. You got a brand new single. Let's talk about A Different Story.
Yeah.
Now I've heard the song. It's a great song for somebody who hasn't heard it yet, but you want them to hear it. Tell us from what perspective you wrote the song from. Where did it come from?
So the idea of the song originally came, I'm a dad, obviously, that's my number one job. I've got an 18-year-old, 16-year-old, and a 13-year-old. My oldest, at the time I wrote Different Story, was kind of going through a rough patch, tough time of her own, trying to figure some things out. And it made me kind of reflect on my own journey. And it made me reflect on her life as a part of that. And I've had some times in my life where I've drifted and I've doubted and I've been pulled and influenced by things that, you shouldn't be pulled and influenced by. And, I'm a Christian, and my faith has been big in my life over the years, but there have been times where I've run away from it. And I heard I heard a guy say one time, he said, you can run from God, but you'll never outrun God. And that idea is kind of what inspired this song. A tough time my daughter was going through, my own journey. And then hearing those words, I was like, you know what? If you're a believer, then that higher power loves you, and it's always reaching. He's always reaching for you. And that's where a different story came from. And the message is that, no matter how lost or broken you are, there's an opportunity to write a different story.
Mm-hmm. And it is a beautiful song, by the way, in a beautiful style, if you like Americana style music. But there's a very contemporary edge to it. It's like, it's not so far out of the box that you can't, if you're not an Americana listener. Trust me on this. It's really good quality country music, songwriting, storytelling, and I really think folks will enjoy it. And I think that the story will resonate with people.
Thank you, Fletch.
One of the more interesting things about the song, from my perspective, is there's a featured vocalist on that.
That's right.
Joanna Cotton. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, Joanna Cotton, if you're not familiar with the name, you should be. She, with years and years, sang and toured with Eric Church. Of course, another North Carolina native Eric Church, again, affected by Hurricane Helene, and did his own tribute to, for the folks affected there.
Absolutely.
Joanna Cotton has actually been here to the Shoals. She's actually played a show for us many years ago. It's been a little over 20-ish years ago, but Joanna Cotton played on Muscle Shoals Musical Live. So we knew Joanna. So I'm reading that and I'm going, hey, Joanna Cotton is on this song. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to hear it because I hadn't heard Joanna in a minute. And it's a good quality record. Joanna brings her powerful vocals to it and just makes it that much better. And Mike, if somebody is hearing this now and they're going, I've got to hear the song, I've got to see Mike Thomas's other his catalog, where can someone go on the internet to find you?
Yeah, so you can go to MikeThomasBand.com. On Spotify, Apple, Deezer, wherever you stream music, it's just going to be Mike Thomas. You'll see my picture, and Hell and High Water is going to be that top song, with the most streams there. That's the easiest way to find me. On Instagram or TikTok, it's Mike Thomas Band. I play with a band a lot. I enjoy playing with a band, so we kind of brand that out there. I've played with the same group of guys for years. And Joanna's an absolute powerhouse. Mm-hmm. I had never met Joanna until the day she walked in the studio to sing on A Different Story. And she'd not heard the song. I handed her the lyrics. She read it. She looked at me and she said, okay. And then she went into the vocal booth and just put on a clinic.
Yeah.
And
it's hard not to feel like you're not. Maybe I was like, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. You're listening to Joanna. She
right.
is so good.
You think you're a pretty good singer, and then somebody like Joanna walks in. And I was honored to. We had so much fun, and she loved the song, and we were actually in the studio just a couple weeks ago doing another one that will come out in a few months that she sang on. So it's been cool to work with her. She's a total pro.
Absolutely. All right, so MikeThomasBand.com, and of course, his socials are there, and you have a TikTok now. His daughter is make sure that everything is on there is as it should be, so you're going to get some quality TikTok from Mike. And man, we appreciate you coming today.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. It's such a blast.
Look for a live performance of Mike elsewhere here on our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time on another artist video blog, Kicks96country.com.
It looked like I was winning, but I was falling apart. But he never stopped reaching for me. No, he wrote a different story.